beginning with the roll-off. I got a 3.
I got a 6.
Ooh.
I think I will be the defender.
As you might have guessed, this is a little bit of a different podcast, and one that may not even get to air if terrible things happen.
Possibly.
Because we're only airing this when we have made it to 100 YouTube subscribers.
Yay!
So thank you very much, all of you who have subscribed. If you haven't, why haven't you? We could have had this video out months ago. So to celebrate that, we've had a bit of an idea for a bit of a different Spearhead game.
Yes, we're kind of doing a make your own Spearhead.
With a slightly more catchy name that won't be on the title of the video, hopefully.
We are basically going to now decide our list.
Our list can literally be any unit from any army. And we've kind of broken it down to what we actually can choose from those, but we are pretty free with what we can choose with this. So hopefully these are kind of 2 ultimate armies having a big game. So we have put a few rules on it. Each of us will have a hero, a secondary hero / artillery unit.
So basically a hero that is, so we'll have a general.
Yes.
And then a secondary hero.
Yes. We'll have a unit with 3 or more health, a unit with 2 health, and a unit with models with 1 health. So we will get 5 units to making up our army. We also get to pick battle traits, regiment abilities, and enhancements.
And the defender also gets to pick what board. So what we mean by what board is either fire or jade or sand and bone. And then which side of those, and even then which cards we're going to do, and which twists. So we could be playing on the Gairan side with the ashy cards, with the sand and bone twists.
It's going to go wild.
Or I might just be boring because it'll be me that's picking it. Who goes...
Don't be boring.
Just Gairan.
Don't please, don't be boring. We have a rule where you are only allowed one of your choices from each army.
Yep.
So if I chose the regiment abilities from Karajan Overlords, I would not be able to have any models or any of the battle traits or enhancements from Karajan Overlords, for example. The way we're gonna pick it is the attacker slot is me. So I will get the first choice, the 4th, the 5th, and the 8th. And Robin will get the 2nd, 3rd, 6th, and 7th.
Yes.
So we'll sort of alternate, but we'll get 2 choices in between. And we also get 1 veto.
Can be used whenever, but basically the other person can go, no. That does then mean that you cannot then pick it yourself.
Now, maybe this is an exact sign of our 2 preparations. I've come with a list of 3 options for every single one of the choices. Robin's gone, well, I've got one I'm pretty much going for.
I know vaguely what I want.
And if you veto it, then I guess I'll just choose something else.
Yeah, why not?
So,
I think it took me a good 5 minutes of prep.
This was like an hour.
I basically was like, yeah, I want those 2 things and stuff will fit.
But I didn't want to just go with what I know and then be like, oh, I've just seen this unit and it's crazy. It's in a bad army, so no one plays it. But for this, it's perfect.
I could just spend forever overthinking it. I'm just going to kind of go, this stuff works.
So, should we get going?
Yeah. You get first pick?
Okay. The first pick is the battle trait. I am going for Cities of Sigmar, the Officer's Order.
That was one I was going to go for, potentially.
Basically, what this battle trait lets you do is it lets me play a card, but then also keep it to score later on and maybe even reuse its ability for. It's a really long-worded one. If you look at it in the app,
yeah, if you really want to go into it, basically you put 1 card face down, go, I get to use that trait for free. And then if you use it for free, it just goes back in your hand. If you don't, it goes back in your hand anyway. I was tempted to do that one because we were like, there's just some crazy cards that could be very good.
Just keep using it again and again and again.
Does mean we're probably now not doing any of the sand and bone cards.
Yeah, that was my problem. Obviously, not being defender means that you can choose whatever those are.
So the one I will be picking for my battle trait is, let's see if you can guess which army it's from. The Temptations of Slanesh.
Clearly a Deepkin one. So is yours the one where you're getting your...
So every battle round I get 6 temptation dice. And every time Duncan makes a failed hit roll, wound roll, save roll, I can offer him a temptation dice. He can either choose to accept it or deny it. If he accepts it, I get to roll a dice, a d6, and then I get so many depravity points. If he chooses to reject it, so he doesn't get the dice, then whatever unit failed that roll will then take d3 mortals.
I've literally played against that and basically tabled myself by repeatedly refusing it and not having a ward to save any of the damage. Did win the game, but I was basically off the board by the end of it. Because you just never know how much of them to give and how much not to. I think that's a really good one.
Yeah, I earn depravity points, I get special abilities. So when I get 12 points, my whole army can use the run and charge ability. At 18 points, all of my units get crit mortals. And then at 24 points, all of my units get 5 up ward. If I can get to 24 pretty quickly, very strong. If I roll very well, in theory, I can get to 24 before the end of the first battle round, depending on what Duncan does. But if he chooses not to, that would be 6 times 3d damage mortals to him, which could be 80 mortal damage.
I just never fail any rolls and I'll be safe. That's the plan. Don't fail rolls.
Don't fail
You can't
rolls.
offer me anything if I save them. Did you have any kind of...
Well, I wanted the cities one.
Yep.
Because that was fun.
Yeah.
And the other one I was sort of looking at actually was the Flesh Eaters one. The Noble Deeds.
Because you could actually get a better hero that's got a...
Spoilers, I'm planning to get a pretty tanky general next. Mm-hmm. And the other one I was potentially looking at, again, because I'm planning a slightly tankier list, was the Cruel Boys one. To give strike first to the general and to something else.
Yeah. I looked at Sylvaneth's one for doing the teleport. I thought that might be quite good, a good unit to teleport. And I almost picked the Deepkin one, where I would have got strike first in the third battle round. Have we both kind of honoured the... We're not picking Nighthaunt because that feels broken.
We did look at that, and we did kind of have a conversation where we were like, Nighthaunt gets such a good battle trait, which is to ignore rend and give strike last. It only works because everything in kind of the list isn't very killy. We're probably picking very killy stuff to a degree.
I think not just that. I think nothing... Well, in the first one, I don't know about the second Spearhead, has anything better than a 4-up save.
Yeah.
So I do think that I put something with a 2-up save and was like, now I'm ignoring all rend. I think that's just too much. It works with Nighthaunt because nothing does have a 2-up save. So battle traits chosen, 2 vetoes still intact.
Yep.
It is your choice for your general.
I am picking a giant.
You are going for the Man-Crushed Gargant general.
Yes.
Basically. Why have you chosen that?
Because I think having a general with crit mortals like that would be quite good. Good movement. Save isn't brilliant, but it's got really high control.
I am going for the Argonaut Admiral.
I mean, yeah, he is maybe not the most tanky in the world, but he is...
3-up save?
Yeah, but he doesn't have a lot of health. And doesn't have a ward.
I just know I've played games with Karajan Overlords. You've got a huge boat that's in theory going to do lots of damage. You've got other things that can do damage. And he's the one thing you reliably sit there and do damage.
I mean, yeah, he's 3s and 2s, rend 1, damage 3. You can do 9 damage reliably. Unless you've got something with a decent save.
Well, you can nerf his hits and things like that, but yeah.
Even so.
Yeah.
He also has an ability to pick a friendly Argonaut company unit holder within 12. For any ability like that, we're just kind of going with friendly units. Just to put that out there now.
Yeah, because we kind of want these ultimate units. We don't want to be like, this unit will be brilliant, but its wording is only for its army, because I can't take anything else from that army now. That's how we're kind of playing this. Yes. First 2 choices done.
Yep.
Back to you for your secondary hero artillery unit.
I'm going for an artillery unit, not a secondary hero.
Okay. I'm getting my veto ready.
And I am, oddly enough, going for the Karajan Overlords Sky Wardens.
They were on my 2 health unit list.
Yeah, because they are 2 health units.
They are.
I would argue, we said the artillery unit couldn't have more than 6 to try and avoid just taking like a big cannon.
Yep.
So that gives them 6 health. And I would argue, while they're not bad in combat, they're an artillery. They're shooting. And
you've got another unit with reinforcement keyword, which I think is pretty good. And like you say, and their ability when they're at the end of turn to fly away, and the movement's good. So yeah, I think that is a really good choice. I'm gonna let you have it.
You can let me have it
because I just worry about what else you'd pick. Basically,
it's good because I literally had no other idea for that one.
I messaged you. You can have a Gracie because he's somehow.
Oh yeah, it was Gracie.
He's somehow the main hero in one and the secondary hero in another.
The Gracie.
And I was just looked at him and goes, the ability to do your D3 mortal damage and give the control score buff.
Yeah.
Pretty good combination. So he is in my top 3. However, I would like to have the Knight for Lexor.
Yeah, the heal and the control score. I'm not
Yes.
overly worried about.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because he's got to be wholly within 12. Again, he's quite big.
I just know how annoying he is to play against, and I just want a game where he's on my team.
Yeah.
Is literally the way I looked at it. I thought about a Grey Seer. I also, which I couldn't do because obviously I've chosen it for my first one, I'm picking a lot of things from cities, actually. This is quite interesting. Their secondary hero, I really like, the Alchemite Warforger. Wizardy sort of stats, 3 attacks, 4s and 4s, 1 rend, D3 damage. However, he can pick a friendly unit, wholly within 12, and on a 6-up, give them crit mortals.
Oh, that's pretty good, actually.
So that's why he was on my sort of maybe reserve list. It's back to my choice for my 3 health unit. I would like a Mancrusher Gargant.
I suppose it is 3 health.
3 or more health.
It's not what it's generally not what I thought you were going to pick. I don't know, maybe you just outsmarted me there, Duncan.
I looked at it as a unit with that much health that is reinforced.
I think I'll just veto it.
You gonna veto it? Yep.
Yeah. I think you outsmarted me with that one. I did not think of that. So okay. I guess we'll veto that instead. So what are you going for instead?
Probably what you expected me to go for. Blight Kings! Because everybody loves a good Blight King. No. It does change what I do going down on my list. Because now I've got something from Nurgle. But, yep. So your choice?
I am going to go for the Storm Fiends. Again, plenty of health. Got some shooting. Got some decent combat.
Robin, we all know why you've chosen them. The possibility of doing, what is it, like 40 damage?
42 with 1 unit.
Yeah, that's why we all know why you've chosen that.
We were literally talking about the Storm Fiends before this, and I was like, yeah, you could just roll. And I rolled 3 6s on the hit dice. And I was like, there's 18 hits.
Yeah, but knowing the wound rolls, Yeah, I'm not vetoing it. So You've got your Storm Fiends. My third option was the Dominator engine with a Mortian cannon, which is the Hellsmiths of Hashut.
Yeah.
I was just thinking something like that, stood at the back, shooting, 2-up save.
Yeah, not bad.
That was my...
I genuinely thought you were potentially going to pick the Trogs.
I almost felt like they were just too obvious. Back to my choice for 2 health unit. My top choice was Sky Wardens, which unfortunately have gone. I am going for an army I have technically played against once in half a game. So this might mean that they're terrible. Who knows in practicality. But I'm going for the Lumineth Realm Lords, Blade Lords.
Oh, yeah.
So they have 2 health, move 6, 4-up save. They get 3 attacks each, 3s and 4s, 1 rend, 1 damage, but they've got crit mortals and anti-infantry, or they can do their secondary attack, where basically they get to roll 1 dice each, but on a 2-up it does a mortal damage.
Yeah, really consistent damage there.
And, well, my general is with the combat range, the unit and your general has a 5-up ward. So yeah, so that is my choice.
I was potentially going to pick the Vanquishers from...
your Ynastra. That's on my list.
Yeah. Just because they're good horde clearers. We both know that we're both having a... Although, to be fair, if you'd pick the Sky Wardens for that, you wouldn't have had a 5-unit one. But you have now with the Blight Kings.
Yep.
And obviously we're picking a 1 health one, which, if you pick a really bad one, I'm assuming they're all going to be at least 5 models.
Yeah. I can't think of one any less than that. I can think of ones out 5, but I can't think of any less than 5. So
that's probably the one I'm going to pick. I think that they're going to be really good at killing. Yeah, I think I'm going to pick them. I think they're pretty good.
Yeah. And again, just looking at their ability, and if you get them into the right things, they'll do crazy damage. And they've got a good save. They can hang around.
Shame they're not reinforced. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
I was looking for potentially a 2 health unit that was reinforced.
I found one. Sky Wardens.
Yeah. I struggled to find one.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. I mean, I look at it, I got my Blight Kings now as my infantry killer because of their end of turn ability to do damage to big units like that. So we're back to your choice for the 1 health unit.
1 health unit, I am going to pick the Namati Reavers from the Deepkin.
Ooh.
The Archer unit.
The Archer unit. Oh, interesting. So 10 models, 1 health each?
10 models, 1 health each. Reinforced. Can run and retreat and shoot.
Yeah, good choice. Not one I'd looked at. So I'm looking at it and going, a lot of shooting. Skywarden shooting, Stormfiend shooting, Mancrusher technically shooting.
Everything in my army
Vanquishers aren't so far. They're the only ones that are not.
Yeah, I know. Well, it wasn't
find an ability that lets a unit shoot if they can't shoot. I am going for Stabbers. Basically for their nets.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's I was looking at Clan Rats, obviously.
See, so I was very tempted then to pick Clan Rats. If I had picked Clan Rats, would you have vetoed it?
No.
No, good. Because I didn't want them. I always wanted the Reavers, but I was like,
interesting.
Do I want Duncan to waste his veto on that?
Mm-hmm.
Do I pick it? Because we haven't talked to each other too much about the list.
We just kind of said what wasn't allowed was allowed.
Yeah. But I know we sort of both were like, well, you want to pick something good like the Clan Rats, and so I was like, I had a good feeling that Duncan might have wanted them.
I think they're just so good, aren't they? Just coming back is just so good. I've basically gone for the Stabbers because of the fact that they can net. Like, we use them in the game. They can go around with the unit. So even if, I don't care if you're fighting the Stabbers and killing them, you're fighting that unit. I nearly chose Crypt Guard, Flesh Eaters. And I was thinking if anything can buff their attacks as well.
Yeah.
Give them Crypt Mortals.
Yeah.
That would be a pretty feisty unit. And they come back. But no, I want the...
They also give you General Award.
Yep. You can get 2 lots of awards.
They give any hero. You could have had your secondary hero as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Could have given Knight of Elixir that award.
So we're on to you.
Yep.
With your regiment ability.
I am going for the new Blades of Cornwall. So Fangs of the Blood God.
Ooh.
The passive, the Scent of Blood. Add 1 to hit rolls for combat attacks that target an enemy unit that had any damage points allocated to it this phase.
I'm vetoing.
Cool. I'm going to pick the other one then from that Blades of Corn unit, which is a once per battle any combat phase. Pick a friendly unit in combat with an enemy unit that has any more melee weapons with a higher attack characteristic than any of your friendly units' melee weapons to be the target. For the rest of the turn, add 1 to the attack characteristics of that target's melee weapon, and if the target is a hero, add D3 to the attack characteristics of their melee weapon instead.
Oh.
So, D3 headbutt? 4 attacks potentially?
Oh, that's nasty.
A little bit nasty.
I unveto. So what's that called, sorry?
That is called Savagery Upon Savagery.
Oh, it's very fitting.
There's only once per battle, though, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. That's made me slightly less scared. I am choosing for my regiment ability the Fire Slayers Throwing Axes.
Yeah.
So basically, as long as I'm not in combat and I'm within 10 of you, I can do D3 mortal damage to you. I think that's a good ability. Obviously, I've got to not be in combat. A bit limiting, but still. It was that or the Khorne Bloodwoken Runes. Yeah, so that was kind of up there. It also had the Slaves to Darkness ability to, once per turn, I could choose a unit to retreat, not take any mortal damage and charge. Yeah. I thought that might be handy if I get stuck in any combat, so I don't want to be in anymore. But no, I'm going for the Fire Slayers. Also because there was no chance of choosing anything else from Fire Slayers, so
Yeah, there is that. Finally,
enhancements. It is my
Your
choice.
pick.
I was probably going to do Gardener of Nurgle for that 4-up ward, but obviously I've ended up with the Blight Kings. You kind of forced my hand a little bit there. So I am going for the Slaves to Darkness out of the Dark Oath Riders, the Fal Ritualist. So basically, I get to take 4 cards and then put 1 back if I don't want it.
That will go quite well with your...
Yep. That was kind of how I was pairing them. Obviously, my general's got to be alive to do it. So if you kill my general, I'm not doing it anymore. Very doable. But yeah, each time you draw battle cards, if your general is on the battlefield, you can choose to draw 1 additional card and then put 1 of your battle tactic cards back at the bottom of your battle deck. So I'll know what's at the bottom if I get there as well.
And you can put stuff that probably isn't going to be good.
Good at the start, might be good at the end. I can pick 4 cards and go, which one do I want to use the ability of? Bit more choice of that.
See, I've got a couple picks now.
Mm-hmm.
I've got one from the new Hellsmiths one that I was tempted to. But I feel like if I pick it, you'll never let me get there. So for the rest of the turn, so basically I've gone for like a big wombo combo thing, where for the rest of the turn, your general's attacks score a critical hit on an unmodified roll of a 5.
Oh, okay.
So the turn where I've got my crit mortals, the turn where I get D3 to all my general's attacks, and then I also get crit mortals on a 5. I feel like that would be a very good turn for the general, but now I'm like 24. Let's face it, the earliest I'm getting that battle round 2. And that's with some good rolling, because you're probably not going to be silly enough to let me have. You'll probably take the mortals more than you will the points, and depending on what I do it on. So if I do it on your general, he hasn't got a lot of health.
He's got a ward, though. As long as he's next to that unit, everything will have a 5-up ward, apart from my stabbers, which, I mean, and my Knight Velexor, which kill the stabbers, don't care.
Is it worth going for that? Because I was also looking at potentially I could also then just make him have a 2-up ward. That was another one I was looking at. Because originally I was going to go for, and I completely forgot that I was just going to give him crit mortals. But now I'm looking at it, I might get mortals anyway. Do I pick the Flesh Eaters one? Pick a visible enemy unit within 6 of your general to be the target. For the rest of the turn, add 1 to damage characteristic for friendly units' ranged weapons. I got a lot of range.
Yeah.
My whole army almost. Yeah, let's go with that one. That one sounds interesting.
So what's that called?
That is the Flesh Eater Court's Choir Master. Because obviously in that one they're shouting.
Yeah.
But in this one we ain't shouting. We're shooting.
So, that is our list complete. So I'll just go through them. You have the Temptation of Slanesh as your battle trait.
Yep.
You have a Mancrusher Gargant as your general. You've got Sky Wardens as your artillery unit. You have Storm Fiends as your unit with 3 or more health. You have Vanquishers as your unit with 2 health. And you have Namati Wreathers as your unit with 1 health. Along with them, you have your regiment abilities of Savagery upon Savagery. So the turn that I'm going to dread when you put that once per battle ability for the extra attacks. And you have the Flesh Eater's Choir Master to help your shooting. I have got the Officer's Order for my battle trait. I have got the Argonaut's Admiral for my general. The Knight Velexor from my secondary hero. Blight Kings for my unit with 3 or more health. The Blade Lords from the Lumineth for my unit with 2 health. And Stabbers for my war unit with 1 health. And my regiment ability is the Fire Slayers, Fire Steel Throwing Axes. And my enhancement is the Foul Ritualist from Slaves to Darkness. I feel like I've gone for very much kind of like scoring my cards, using card abilities, and holding objectives and being fighty.
Yep.
And you've gone for,
smash you.
I'm just going to shoot you, and what's left, I'm going to run in and smash.
Yep.
So this could be a very interesting game.
You've gone for like, I'm going to go for strategy. I've gone for everything's going to be dead by round 2, whether or not it's you or me. That's up for debate.
I mean, I did try and put a Gargant in there, which you vetoed.
I did veto.
And obviously I managed to veto your one, which would have helped you shooting a bit.
Yeah.
But obviously I feel like your other one's still pretty nice.
Well, no, it was more I would shoot you, then I get everything, I get +1 hit.
Yeah. And I don't want Gargants with +1 to hit.
But no, instead he just gets loads of attacks now. Potentially with crit mortals.
So we've gone for quite an interesting mix. I'd say, like me and Robin sort of maybe said before, we've kind of gone for armies that maybe don't get chosen a lot, or we don't think are very good, but they've just got the odd good abilities in there.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've never played Lumineth, but I looked at that unit and went, oh, they're feisty. I've gone for cities abilities, which we say maybe one of the weaker ones. You've gone for a Flesh Eater's ability, which you don't normally particularly like in the Spearhead game. And then we've got kind of some obvious ones in there with your Gargants, your Storm Fiends, Vanquishers, Stabbers. You know, they are used quite a lot in the game, so it should be a very interesting one.
I was worried you were going to... Suppose you've got a lot of wards.
Got a lot of wards. Everything's got a ward apart from, like I say, Knight Velexor and Stabbers.
Well, it's only you've got a ward if stuff's near stuff.
All they've got to do is be next to each other. There's only 2 things being next to each other, and Blight Kings can be anywhere. Mm-hmm. When they've got those 2 that got to be next to each other.
Comment down below who you think's going to win.
And also, we'd love to hear your list. If you were to do this, you know,
what would you pick?
And what have we missed out on, maybe, that we should have been a dead cert? I mean, we both may be surprised that neither of us chose the Trogs.
We know the Trogs are swingy, though. They're very good. They're very good at sitting in the centre.
Exactly.
The problem is, like I say, I went for a very smash. I didn't even. 3 trogs ain't going to survive a very smashy list. Or maybe they would.
Maybe they would. I mean, they're not going to get the bonus of the bad moon to give them the extra saves. Yeah.
And they're not got the stabbers. They're minusing 1 from hits from most things. So it's a bit interesting.
Do we want to choose the side of the board now or wait for the video?
We will wait for the video because I need to look at that a bit better. Because obviously now I know what the lists are. All I know is you're probably not getting your sand and bone cards because they are much better.
I was just loving the whole game of me going, great. Gargant's hitting and wounding on 4s.
Yeah,
every time it attacked.
We ain't going for that.
That would have been brilliant.
Although to be fair, you could pick the one where it's basically it's only you activate it during the shooting phase.
The one we go to ground.
Yeah,
and you're only hitting on 6s.
Yeah, that one could be not fun. Or you could just give me all my depravity points, and I've got no reason to offer you the dice anymore. You could just bite the bullet.
I just take that you're going to be crazy good at one point, but if I don't take the damage, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
You've got no other way of getting them, do you? It's not like your hero that gives her. If you could get you up to 11 and be like refuse everything now, so you just can't get there.
Yeah, there's a play where if maybe you do it to me once or twice and I roll a 1 and a 2, you go safe. Well. I'm safe to give it to you at least once. Or more. I get 6 dice. If I roll a 6, a 6, a 6, and a 6, I know it's unlikely.
Robin, you're doing your thing.
I know.
You're either going to have this crazy game.
Yeah, but I could also roll a 5, a 4, a 6.
But
it's
Robin,
doable.
Robin, the last video we had, someone commented that you need to put your dice on fire. Are you sure you're going to roll that?
We'll see.
So thank you very much for subscribing and making us up to 100. If you haven't, it'd be brilliant if you could, and we'll get to see the next video, what crazy idea we have for that one. But enjoy that video, and we'll see you soon.